We previously looked into the communication between the Raspberry Pi and a computer through the same Wi-Fi network, same as your home network. But what happens if you cannot access the router as an admin? This could be at home if nobody gives you an admin account to the router that is at home, or maybe you go to a mall or a coffee shop where you want to connect to a free Wi-Fi, and you can connect your devices to that Wi-Fi, a Raspberry Pi, a computer, but you cannot get them to communicate with each other because you cannot control the router that is administered by somebody else. Another problem that you could have the two devices connected to different networks. Somebody could be collecting data in the field with the Raspberry Pi, somebody staying in an office connecting the laptop to another network. So how to get them to communicate? They could also be in different cities or different countries, but want to find a way to share the screen between the Raspberry Pi and the computer and control it. The solution to all of these problems is a VNC Cloud, where you would be creating an account with VNC, and each device is gonna communicate and transfer its data to the VNC Cloud, and the VNC Cloud is gonna administer the communication between a device and another. Let one device be a Raspberry Pi and the other a computer. So the data is gonna go through the cloud back and forth between devices, whether they are on the same network or they are on different networks. This will be the one that's gonna manage or administer the communication between the devices. To proceed, currently this is a screen of the Raspberry Pi casted on my computer through VNC, and they are on the same network for now. Using your web browser on your computer, search for Manage Real VNC. Click on that link. Sign in if you have an account, or sign up if you don't. I'm gonna create a new account. Enter an email, not a robot. Next. Choose a password. Fill in the information as you see relevant. And I plan to use VNC for personal use. Sign up. You will receive an email, so follow the instructions in the email to verify your account. After you do, refresh. Account has been verified. Scroll to the bottom of the page. Choose the option that is relevant to you. I'm gonna pick Home, which is limited to 5 computers and 3 users. Click on Activate. Under your team computers, you'll find no computers at the moment. Go to the Raspberry Pi screen that's connected through direct VNC on the same network. Click on the VNC icon. Sign in. Use the same credential you created when you created the Real VNC account. Accept the default name, which is the name of your Raspberry Pi. Apply. Done. You can now close this dialog. Go to your computer screen. You can now refresh your browser. You'll now find the Raspberry Pi 2 as one of your devices or computers. To make it easy to access the Raspberry Pi every time, run VNC Viewer that you previously installed in a different video. Sign in with the credentials you created with VNC. VNC will send you a message to your email for verification. Follow the instructions in the email to continue. You'll now find VNC Viewer recognizes you. You'll also find the Raspberry Pi 2 under your team anytime, even if your Raspberry Pi is connected to a different network. You always have the option to connect to it directly as well on the same network or being on a different network. Your team now has one computer, which is the Raspberry Pi. Currently, this Raspberry Pi is connected through direct connection on the same network as my computer. So this is my computer screen. This is the Raspberry Pi screen. If I go anywhere else, I'm gonna click on this icon here, which is the Wi-Fi icon. I'm gonna connect to something else. Maybe in the mall, I connect to Wi-Fi in the mall, or I turn on a mobile hotspot on a phone or any other device. I can connect to it through this icon here, and I still can access this Raspberry Pi from my computer if I click on that icon here or that's name under my team, because it's going to go through the cloud. It's not going to go through the local network. So now we accomplished the task of communicating between the Raspberry Pi and the screen through different network, because everything is going to go through the cloud. This computer could be in an office, connected through Wi-Fi in the office. This Raspberry Pi could be connected to a hotspot in the mall, coffee shop, or even a mobile network on your phone. But everything gonna go through the VNC cloud, and I registered for that account and I have added this device. This also can be done on the same network, same idea. If you do not have access to this router, you cannot control or administer that router in a mall or a coffee shop.